This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Teen charged for murder of 6-year-old boy remanded. The 15-year-old student who is charged for the shooting death of his 6-year-old cousin at their home along Darling Street in Savannah Lamar, Westmoreland, was remanded when he appeared in the Westmoreland Family Court today. His attorney, Henry McCurdy, told the news that the case was called up and set for July 23. The teen is charged with the murder of 6-year-old Jaden Miller, which took place on May 17. It is reported that about 2:30 p.m., the teen and others were inside the yard when he started to play with an illegal gun. It is further reported that the weapon went off, shooting Miller in his back. The teen then fled the scene, while the young boy was rushed to the hospital by his uncle, where he was pronounced dead. The teen subsequently turned himself in to the cops at the Freeport Police Station in Montego Bay, St. James. 3 men shot in Gordontown. 3 men were shot in Gordontown, St. Andrew, late yesterday afternoon, but up to press time, police on the scene had not confirmed any fatalities. Residents told the news that about 6 p.m., gunshots were heard near the section of Gordontown Road that was destroyed due to heavy rains last November. According to the residents, the injured men were found lying on the ground after the shooting ended. It was not clear what sparked the shooting. Men posing as cops rob couple in home invasion. 2 men posing as police officers and dressed in gear resembling that worn by lawmen invaded a couple's home Sunday night, ransacking the premises and robbing them of a large sum of money. The incident occurred in Highgate, St. Mary about 11:20 p.m. Reports are that the couple, a businesswoman and her husband, was at home when they were awakened by a knock on the door from people who identified themselves as police officers and instructed them to open the door. The woman complied, and 2 masked men entered, attired in what appeared to be police clothing and carrying handguns. The men ransacked the house and demanded money, and managed to flee in a waiting car with over $300,000. The police are investigating. Supermarket supervisor killed in Clarendon. A 26-year-old supermarket supervisor who was shot 2 weeks ago and survived was killed on Church Street, New Longville during the island-wide lockdown on Monday night. Dead is Orlando Shand, otherwise called Paul of Church Street, New Longville. Reports are that about 7:30 p.m., residents heard loud explosions and called the police. On their arrival, Shand's body was seen lying on the street with what appeared to be gunshot wounds to his upper body. 2 spent casings and 2 live rounds were taken from the scene by the police. Reports are that Shand was also shot about 2 weeks ago by unknown assailants. The police are investigating. CXC exams pushed back by 2 weeks. Caribbean Examinations Council (CXC) exams have been further delayed by 2 weeks. Earlier this week, the United Nations Children's Fund (UNICEF) urged CXC to delay the start of the external examinations by 3 weeks and to simplify the content and methodology. CXC administers Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination (CAPE) and Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate (CSEC) examinations. At a press conference a short while ago, CXC Registrar Dr. Wayne Wesley said the decision was made during a special council meeting yesterday. Examinations will now commence on June 28. Results will be released during the last week of September into the first week of October as previously decided. All components, that is, papers 1, 2, and 3, will be administered. Students now have until May 31 to defer sitting the 2021 examination. JDF soldier charged following fatal shooting of Azan employee released on bond. The Jamaica Defense Force soldier charged with the fatal shooting of an employee of Azant Supercenter last December was released on bond when he appeared in court on Wednesday. Corporal Roland Gray was offered bail in the sum of $600,000. He is to return to court on July 2. The soldier was ordered to surrender his travel documents and report to the police on Saturdays. Courtney Minto, a parking attendant at Azans on Old Hope Road in St. Andrew, was shot during a dispute with the soldier in the parking lot. At Wednesday's hearing, defense lawyer Peter Champagny said his client was acting in self-defense after being attacked. Mr. Gray was charged Wednesday morning following a ruling by the Director of Public Prosecutions. Employers encouraged to embrace remote work. President of the Caribbean Employers Confederation, Wayne Chen, is calling for local employers to embrace flexible and remote work in order to become more productive and globally competitive, and to design a system to measure employee output when they operate outside the workplace. We have a psychological hang-up in Jamaica about control, so that change in mindset will have to take place before we can get the full benefits of any change in legislation and regulation to flexible working arrangements, he pointed out. Chen, who was participating in a virtual panel discussion recently, noted that although the coronavirus pandemic has forced businesses to employ remote work, many still have not embraced the opportunities created by the new normal and are fixated on getting employees back into the workplace or office. Their primary concern, he said, is related to the productivity of workers while they operate from home, and is recommending that businesses implement systems to measure output. There are progressive companies that quickly embrace remote work, but for every story like that, we have the story where the head of the department or chief executive officer asks for all the workers to come back out as soon as the government eases the COVID-19 restrictions, Chen noted. And the answer is that many managers have still not yet put in place a system where they can actually measure output. We have really wasted, in many instances, a year because without the measurement, they are not confident if work is done, he pointed out. Chen noted that on the other hand, many employees, particularly mothers, have come to appreciate working from home over the past year. Workers, especially working mothers, have been faced with their children's online schooling, appreciate not having to sit in traffic, sit in a bus or a car to get to work in the mornings and then in the evenings, he pointed out. So the fact is, changing the mindset of workers is perhaps easier than changing the mindset of employers, he said. 3 more COVID-19 deaths, 20 new cases. Jamaica has recorded 3 more COVID-19 deaths, pushing the tally to 934. The deceased are a 43-year-old woman from Clarendon and a man 83 and a woman 67 from Westmoreland. Meanwhile, there were 20 new cases with ages ranging from 3 to 99 years, pushing the total to 48,101, with 22,425 being active. Of the new cases, 10 are women and 10 are men. St. James dominates the new cases, with 6 being recorded, followed by Kingston and St. Andrew with 4. The country's positivity rate stands at 5.6%. A total of 1,281 tests were conducted. In the meantime, there were 147 new recoveries, moving the total to 24,373. Some 171 persons are in hospital, with 45 being moderately ill and 14 critically ill. 7 persons are in government quarantine, while 31,632 are at home. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.